Netflix and chill, getting laid, dooksing, making the beast with two backs. Everybody wants it. Humanity needs it to survive. Oh yes, we're talking about sex. In this episode, I'll be getting into it with Lucine, Mary, and Kesha. 3 different women with 3 very different opinions on the ins and outs of the in and out. We're going to have an open and frank chat about all things sex and sexy. What does healthy sex look like? How do we effectively communicate our sexual needs with our partners? How important is sex to relationships? Let's get into the real conversation. Ladies on the couch with me today, we're going to be talking about sex. Complicated or overcomplicated for some people. Something that is so natural, something that shouldn't be taboo, something that is supposed to be pleasurable, and yet we overanalyze it. Men are often turned on by what they see. Women, however, are turned on by other things. I have with me today Mary, Lucine, and Kesha. How are you turned on? Where does it start with you?
Lucine, ready.
I know everybody's shoes are on the floor.
Where does it start with you?
Mm-hmm.
It's the attitude that turns me on.
Mm.
I love a considerate man, an understanding man. I love the man that's into me and puts my needs first.
So it's a vibe and an attitude that gets you. Mm-hmm.
It's in the air.
Okay.
Not my ass, but his attitude.
Oh, geez. Kesha?
I don't understand why we always say men are turned on by visuals. A lot of us women love visuals.
We do.
Because every person sees first, right? And I remember when I met my husband, the first time I saw him in person, before anything even happened between us, I was walking behind him going down the road, and I was just saying to my friend, look, he has these wide shoulders, deeper the waist. I like that, right? But I love a conversation. I love an intelligent man. Listen, I could reach work late every day just because I stay home and just chat. Not that that actually is what happens, but it could happen because that's how we are. We could talk for hours and then it goes from one thing to the next and then the talking turns into
So it's more of an intellectual stimulation for you.
And the talking turns into touching and the touching goes all the way.
Mary?
Okay, for me.
So it's what you hear.
Yes. My ears are very sensitive.
It's all about, as she said, see what I see. You have to show me that you're interested in me as an individual, as a female, and you have to show me that when we actually do get together, it's not about you. You have me in mind and you're focusing on me. I will focus on you because my focus is going to be make sure that at the end of the time, you had your fun.
Yes, he's satisfied as well.
Yes, definitely.
That was a touch for you.
You behave.
Is that possible? All right. And so the conversation, once you're open enough to discuss about that intimate part where we can venture to, it's going to help. It helps a lot.
In the bedroom.
Even there.
So, a lot of men are like, a woman would ask you what you want. No, that's gay. That's gay. To be saying what you want, right? What's that? No,
Or the
you take
assumption
it.
that
You want to
every
take
woman wants the same
The
thing.
same thing, exactly.
And men too. There are a lot of women
So they just
who
want to give it.
think
They just
that
want to
all
give
men
you. So if we had the same partner, he would give me, you, the same thing. I'm like, but it doesn't work that way because we're all built
Differently.
Women are guilty of doing that to men too.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
It's both ways. Like we just don't talk. But I talk. But a lot of us don't talk. And apparently Mary talks.
Why?
But a lot of us don't
But
talk.
why?
You think that maybe culturally is because
Yes.
we're not
Yeah.
talking to people and getting to know them first before having sex?
No, but
with
it's not
them?
just that. It's
Further
not
than
just
that.
that. It's not that. It's how they've put sex.
Right.
Sex is we live in such a purity culture. Even though we know for a fact that we're not a pure culture.
Right.
We live in a purity culture
Yeah.
where we have this sex. Even though you're married, we're married. You've been married. And even though that is the case, like, when I got pregnant with my first daughter, it was like roughly 3 months after we got married. And people were like, well, you couldn't wait? No. I'm like 31. I was 30. I'm like, what waiting for? Right, number one. Then after my baby was born, months after, I was pregnant with my second baby, and they were like, you can't keep off the man? No, it's mine.
You know what I find interesting about that is society wouldn't ask a man that
If he
question.
can't keep-
But because we're women, it's like we shouldn't have that need, that hunger, that desire. But we do.
Of
Humans.
course.
And we're sexual beings. Sometimes even more so
Than the men.
than men.
Yes.
We are not just animals to operate off of male instinct. I believe that sex is for mature adults. And I must be able to know what I want first. So I must take time to know me, know what I want, have my priorities right,
Yes.
set my boundaries, and be confident in who I am as a woman and as a sexual being. And then when I am fully garbed and
Yeah.
aware into myself now, then I venture into a relationship. And then it goes the same way. I must know who he is. I must know his boundaries, his intentions. So I would say just meeting somebody the same night, the same month for me would be a little too
much.
Too soon. Too soon.
because I want that when we get together physically, I am doing it out of a place of familiarity.
Responsible sex
Yes.
is what you just
Yes.
explained, and that's exactly how it should be. And the problem with our society is there's too much irresponsible sex going on, and that's where the harm comes in, where the heartbreaks come in.
You see where you say that, mature people. I think, even though it has been something that we've been teaching, like for eons, I'm sure, about you being at a certain point in your life before you engage. That is why they say when you are married, it's not just because they don't want you to have sex. It's because
There's
they
a
want you to
reason for
get
that.
to a point of development and a place where you understand responsibility. Because sex equals a lot of consequences. It's not you have physical consequences, you have mental, you have emotional consequences, and a lot of these things are long lasting, right? So when you jump into it before you are fully developed and fully established in your life, then you're bringing on a lot of pain for yourself, right? Now, all that Lucine just said has all that intimacy wrapped up with the sex. But some people have sex
Just for having sex.
Yeah,
Yes.
because they just like sex. And I mean, I'm not here to judge anybody, right? To each his own and everything, right? But I would agree with Lucine in terms of I would prefer to know you and you know me so that we can connect on more than just a physical level.
But those who are doing it just for sex,
For the fun of
as
it.
they say,
For the
you
fun of
would
it.
realize that to me, they never seem fulfilled. They are always on a
for the next
quest
one.
because,
Yeah.
because it is a thrill. And love is more than just.
And they usually are the same types of people who you find experience a lot of intimacy issues, commitment issues.
Because
They some of them sometimes have a background with trauma, even sexual trauma. And so you see that they start patronizing exactly what was done to them.
When God invented sex, listen to me. You know why I want to go
God
to heaven?
invented sex.
Yes, of course. God
From the beginning, from the beginning, Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And Adam knew his wife. Sex.
One of his better inventions.
And that-
I'm
And
sure.
that is one of the reasons why I want to go to heaven. Because if something there is better than sex, I'm in the front of the line.
Just left off where Mary was talking about what she likes. No, it's no surprise as women and men, we all like a variety of different things. What are some of the things that you enjoy about sex, and where do toys come into play? You got a whole arsenal over here.
Came prepped.
Starts with the touch. The touch. That touch. You know, you in dice. Your dice.
That's a sex dice.
Well, okay,
Sex dice. So you choose.
so they have words and positions.
Yes, you choose the place that you want to have sex.
Do you choose or you choose?
Yeah.
No, I want to jump into this.
Just get right into it. Just get right into it.
Yes.
She's trying. See. All right.
What's
What we having today?
Garden.
What we doing in the garden?
Oh, girl.
What's that?
What is it, Mary?
Batch.
Oh, okay then. Okay then.
In the garden.
Gotta make sure I had a good workout before that one.
You have to have good knees. You have to have good knees. for
No,
that.
something as simple as this though. Why is this so difficult for most couples?
To just play.
To
have
just
fun.
play,
Yes.
ease into it,
And
have
be
fun.
spontaneous.
Yeah, show us some more of what you have here.
So, I love this. It
Mhm.
smells very nice.
Mhm.
That's the massage oil. That's the one that gets hot.
This one should get hot, yes.
The heated ones.
Mhm.
The more you rub, the hotter
The
it
more
gets.
hot.
So that's like a massage.
Massage
Like a
oil.
massage oil. Okay.
And it's safe enough for the sensitive areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's
Right.
definitely important.
Yes, it is.
Healthy sex is
Yes.
also important
Oh, yes,
as well.
definitely.
All right. This.
I know you like the blindfold.
You have to be naughty
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
when you reach to the bedroom.
Oh, it says be
What is the
naughty.
importance, though? What is the importance of this?
It gives you a sense of mystery. You don't know what he's going to
Right.
do.
It heightens the,
Yes.
it forces
It
the
heightens
other
the
senses
Yes,
to heighten.
yes,
You
yes.
don't know. So when he starts to introduce a feather, you might think it's his tongue is coming, but it's just a
Wow.
soft touch.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So we have that. We can't forget our nice little friends.
Yes.
Protection.
Come in all sizes.
All
Safe.
sizes. They are ribbed.
And materials,
And materials,
as
yeah.
well.
Yes. Many women like to complain and say, oh, that condoms give me an itch.
Or they're allergic
I
to
personally
latex.
like that.
Latex.
Because that's latex.
No, I don't like any of them.
I understand.
What about
Yeah,
the
the
female
non-latex.
condoms?
Yes, right?
The female
we have
condoms
one
look
there.
like plastic bags.
Yes.
But they're
And the-
comfortable.
But they are,
Once you adjust to it, the first time might be a bit kind of uncomfortable. The second time, you get into the groove. It's fun to insert.
The funny thing is, and this might be TMI, that's fine. But the older I've gotten, especially after having babies and everything, I don't use tampons anymore because my vagina just basically
Spits it back.
went back out. It's like, yeah, a couple, like, oh, I don't want that anymore. Just spits it out. I was like, so pushing things up there, right? It's like, no.
No insertion unless it's the real thing.
Yes, that's not a problem and whatnot. But I can guarantee you that once the deed is done, she's like, okay, I'm done with you. Go away. I don't understand what's happening with my
You
muscles.
just
has a
described your
mind of her
vagina as a
own.
user.
Hello.
That's what you just did.
Hello.
Mary, share a little bit more about what you
Alright.
have here.
So there are some times we as women, after a certain age, we start to get dry.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
Should I lubrication. be offended?
Not
Not
even
of
not
age.
even old women. There are a lot of
I
young
know,
women
yeah,
who
I
experience
know.
that as well.
And I want you to accept that this is
Natural. It's natural.
Natural.
Yes.
the aging
Yeah.
process, especially when you are entering menopause,
Mm-hmm.
like I am. So yes, go ahead, educate
Yeah.
us.
Entering
Yeah.
Mary
There are just far too many discriminations
it's
and with all the nuances, I mean, all of the
It's hormonal,
stereotypes and the judgments,
Yeah.
the judgments that come with having to use some of these things, I think is absolutely
But
insane. It's just a little bit of ignorance.
I know because I use this because of the hormones. I am in perimenopause,
Still.
and there are others who use it for if they have a quickie
Yeah, when there's not a lot of time
because
for foreplay.
you don't have that, and yet others use it for anal sex. So
I had a surgery years ago and I was placed on some medication shortly after that. And one of the side effects was
Yeah,
that
dryness.
the dryness, which was, I couldn't deal with that. That was like, I need to come off the meds real fast. But that's how lubrication became a part of my life. And I had to learn to accept the fact that it is what it is and this is normal. And sometimes these things happen. You could be stressed out
right.
and that's the issue. It could be that maybe you're dealing with some anxiety, sexual anxiety. Maybe you're having some intimacy issues with your partner. Maybe you're too much in your head and you're not getting turned on fast enough.
Yes,
All that can cause that.
They don't
Or they
take the
didn't take
time.
their time.
They need to go
Who is
slow.
taking it? Oh,
They need to go
Yes, slower. So it's about communication. Like,
Yeah.
you know, baby, so like slow down.
Yes.
Let's work
and
our
that
way
is why
up
it's
to this.
called foreplay. You have to
Before.
do at least 4 plays before you enter the main scene. And so all of us have our. For me, my favorite foreplay is the post office scene.
Okay then.
Okay, tell us
I'm
about
assuming
that.
there's an outfit for that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what it is.
lick this time.
Yeah. God. Oh gosh. Stop it.
But you know, at the end of the day,
look,
these
stop
things these things introduce an aspect of fun, you know?
Yes,
because
it
even
does.
after I came off my meds, once I discovered, you know, organic, really yummy tasting lubricants, I was just like, you know what? Maybe I'll hold on to one of these.
And that
because
organic will
because
help
it's
you to
fun.
get orgasmic.
Because-
Yep. No,
we
really.
don't talk about that.
Yeah, really. Our men need to understand that the more time they take with the foreplay,
Foreplay.
is the more we enjoy it. And,
Yeah.
and when your woman enjoys sex, then it comes right back
Back
To you.
We
Yes.
move more, we talk more, we more.
What else do you have going on here, Mary?
Okay. This is a box of the famous rose.
Tell us about the glove.
My nice friend. I'm a nurse, so I wear gloves. All right. So it is patterned, textured, ribbed,
Yeah.
right? And each finger is of a different texture. So
And,
this
and
has
shape.
balm.
Okay.
This is of the natural, should be the natural ribbed, the veins and everything for the penis. This is a ribbed one, right? And this one, the middle one, the fun one, it doesn't squirt though.
Wow. You know,
But all of this is to introduce a different sensation.
Sensations.
you know what?
Okay, guys.
This reminds me of masturbation.
Okay, how so?
Yes, because you
Well,
have
yeah,
to know
yeah.
the different feels and know what feels good for you
Mhm.
and how far up it
It
takes
takes.
for you.
Or even if
And
it should be inside at all.
right,
The
yes,
position of your G spot.
yes,
That's
and
hot.
so and that is
We're
and
gonna get into that.
some people would want you to feel that playing with ourselves is wrong and it's dirty and it's sinful, but I believe that the sin aspect might come with what are your thoughts when you're doing it. So you're right. So if I'm playing with myself and I'm visualizing somebody who is not mine, I know, but I'm not speaking about that. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but first, in order for us to really enjoy sex, and a lot of us blame our men because he's not doing it how I want him, and we put our sexual fulfillment in his
His
hands.
hands, yeah.
But we first have to explore ourselves to know,
To know what
like,
we
so that we
want.
can guide him.
Yeah, because one of the things that I guess it's getting more known to women is that most women arrive at climax through clitoral stimulation, and majority of women do not climax through penetration, but left up to the way we were taught, right? That is the act. It's penetration, and whether you arrive or not, as far as he's concerned, he has fulfilled his duty in what he has done. And so most women, like, they suck it up. And they're like, yes, we had sex, and yes, it was good. If he says that was good for you, like, yeah. And it's like, what one woman said, if you have to ask me if I came, then
You don't
clearly
know.
something is wrong.
We have to start being more honest, but we are going to touch on that elusive orgasm and G spot right when we come back.
Can we just share a little bit of education here for the masses that hold it up? This outside portion of the pelvic area here is not the vagina. This is your vulva. I was holding it up for you to say it.
Oh, sorry.
So the outside is your vulva, and then the part that you go into, that is your vagina,
yes.
right? And that nice little spot up to the top, that is your clitoris. And a lot of people don't know where that is. That
Right under
is
the hood.
mostly responsible for a lot of women's orgasms. And it was scientifically proven that women's orgasms are way more massive than men's
Because we have way more nerve endings there
and
than
even
men
though
do.
the clit looks small on the outside, it goes way longer on the inside.
It actually swells up when
Yes.
it gets to a certain point.
Yes,
Well,
and elongates like a
there has been an inordinate amount of debate when it comes to the G spot and orgasms. There are women who will tell you it does not exist. And then there are women who will tell you it has been the most incredible experience sexually. Where do you stand as a health professional?
That is the most sensitive, one of the most, besides the clitoris, the back, behind the clitoris area.
So behind the back of the vaginal wall.
Yeah, there is this area that we call the G spot. And that's one of the most sensitive areas once you start with penetration.
But can the G spot be found or reached in the same place for every woman? Because we're all different.
No, we can't. Just like our pelvises are shaped differently, we have different builds, right? But this most is found in the same area, and it can be reached with this little finger.
about 2 to 3 inches in, because I think that sometimes some persons go too deep. And so it is as soon as you go in about 2 to 3, and you have to turn.
It's that come hither
Yes.
movement.
And when it's swollen after much stimulation, it starts to feel like this. Gives you a ribbed feeling.
Yes.
It's not
You'll get
smooth.
that.
Yeah.
You'll get that feeling. And you get that stimulation.
So it's almost safe, arguably, it's safe. It could be safe to say that the argument is simply based on the fact that some women might just not have found theirs as yet.
And some men might not know how to reach that G-spot.
So what advice would you have for women who have not located their G-spot in finding it, whether with their partner or doing it by themselves?
By yourself.
Because some women might be intimidated to even attempt it by themselves, so they might bring their partner in to assist them. So how would you help them, advise them to navigate that situation so that they can find success in locating it?
Same finger, this nice little finger. We call it the sex finger.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Usually you start off with your insertion. Use 2, and you go on the side. Not straight like that. You turn on the side because it's lateral. And then you go in and you start to stimulate. Yeah.
Okay.
You start to feel.
And you pay attention to the feelings and the sensations
And what some persons can do is continue with clitoral stimulation.
at the same time. Yeah.
But you first want to find it. She was talking about where you find it. Because if you start playing with your clitoris, you might start
You
getting
might start
an
and
organ
think that
and
that's
think
what
that
it
you
is.
would have
Yeah.
found. So
Yeah.
find it first. I suggest that you don't worry about the person who is doing it. You close your eyes and you say, baby, how this feels? Okay, is it here? No, baby, go across. Come on,
Communicate. That's one of the things that
And then you
a
could say,
lot
"Step
of people, but that's one of the things that too many people don't do. They don't communicate. And I've heard men talk about this a lot, that because some women are attractive or because they're in the club and you see them dancing and they're great dancers. And then when you get into the bedroom, they just lay there.
Yeah, Patrick
Or
Starfish.
they don't communicate.
Yes.
They don't let you know what it is that they want, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. Before we finish that, what I wanted to add to that is also just hygienically speaking, make sure that before you even engage in attempting to locate
Nails
your
are clipped and
G-spot,
cleaned.
make sure your fingernails are clean. If it's your partner, make sure your
Clipped, clean,
partner's
filed.
fingernails are clean.
Yes.
Because you don't want to end up with a yeast infection. You don't want to end up with anything like that. That is a very... Yes, make sure the bladder is empty because things can happen and you can end up...
What I was saying is that, you know, growing up in the church, a majority of us on the island, we grew up in the church. And, you know, years ago, I would never find myself in like a public forum like this, having such a frank discussion. I would have the discussions, but, you know, among my friends, behind closed doors and everything, because I knew that after the discussion, if I'm walking on the street, after people have seen the program, they would be,
there would be judgment.
Yeah, and it's are you up there talking about nastiness and everything? But these type of things, you use them for educational purposes. And if a lot more people were educated about how their bodies work, even in a sexual manner, whether they be married or not, like we said, we're not here to judge when and who you do it with. Even though, you know, we might skew towards, you know, the marriage part. It would lend for a less frustrated society. And a less angry society because you wouldn't have time to be frustrated and angry because you would be
less sexually fulfilled.
But not just that. It would create an environment where even as young people, healthier and more responsible decisions are made. Another side to this. Yes, you can get pregnant. Yes, you can get an STD. But when you do this responsibly, at a responsible age, at a mature age and time in your life, with the right person, this can be an experience that is pleasurable, something that adds value to your life, something that helps you relieve stress and tension, something that helps you connect on a deeper level with that other person that you love. These are the things that are left out when we're communicating with children about sex.
Well,
So let them know what the good is, so that they understand when they see it, oh, well, maybe those two people are in love, or I'm not there yet, so I'll wait. Explain to them the emotional drawbacks to it, the psychological drawbacks to it, you know? You don't know how you're going to feel
At the
after
end.
you've done this with a guy you didn't love and didn't love you back. So until you're ready to deal with this part of it and this part of it, don't try using this
Leave
part
that
of
part of
it,
it.
because it's all connected, especially for women.
Whenever I go to my school sessions, I always start with God is good all the time. And all the time.
God is good.
good. Sex is good all the time and all the time. But I said, when is the time? After marriage, or it will put you in a carriage. And I show them that how premarital sex can cripple you emotionally, mentally, but you have to let them know that it's good. And you know what? It is greater. Later will be greater. Have you ever do cook up?
And when it's stale, it tastes better.
Because all the seasoning and so
Marinade.
yes.
Get to marinade.
If you really want to enjoy sex,
It's postponed gratification, not canceled
Delayed.
gratification. It's delayed, delayed gratification, not canceled.
But you know, there's and it's been around for a long time. About before you put on the ring, you have to try the thing, right? You have to try the thing, and that covers so many different things, because it's not just about whether or not you're going to enjoy having sex with this person. But it's for a lot of men in particular, because I've been privy to some of these conversations. They want to see if you as a woman are able to conceive.
Okay.
Because if you're not, then they don't want to stay with
marry you.
And I'm like, because you're placing conditions on her love, and you're placing conditions on her body. You're placing this ownership, like, if I try, it's like a pair of shoes. If I try on the shoes and I like it, then I'll buy it. This is how sex works. It's like, you have sex with this person, right? And it's not good the first time. So what you do, you sit down and you say, okay, that didn't work for me. I didn't really like that. Can we try something else? And you try it again. You might shift the position. You might shift the thermostat. You might shift the lights. You might shift the music. Whatnot. You try something else.
Interesting that you went there with it.
We're getting a little better, you know? And then the next time you try it again, and this is within the comfort and the safety of your own space.
And two consenting adults. But we're going to get into what some of these positions of enjoyment are and more when we come back. When it comes to sex, ladies, it's safe to say that pleasure is a goal. It might not be the only goal, but it's a goal. There are certain factors that I want to know from each of you. Do these things matter? Is everyone capable of these things? Mary, does size matter on both sides of the spectrum?
Okay. As the only single woman here, I'm going back to Kesha in terms of what she said, in terms of having preparation for marriage, not having sex, not trying it out before you do get married. And believe me, if I have to wait until my married night to find out that your size is too small, too big, it's not going to work for me. That's going to be a big turn off.
Yeah. Can I see?
take a pic.
No,
but then he
can't
might
do
not
that.
feel comfortable showing me without doing any. But size really it matters. It's about accommodation, right?
Okay.
For the vagina births a baby. So it opens and it can close back. Once we use our muscles, right, it stays like that. Right?
Kegels.
For the male, the size, you have different sizes, you have different shapes. Some are curved this way, some are curved, some straight like an arrow, right? It's how he uses that size that's going to make the
It's all about the
difference.
functionality of the
Yes,
instrument.
if he knows how to handle himself, the size don't really play that much, but for me, size plays.
We were just talking about Kegels. Can you tell us quickly, so that for those who are not aware of what Kegels are, what
Right.
that is?
That is just the exercises we use to have to strengthen our pelvic muscles and the vagina. You, after birth, we counsel our mothers, when you are sitting, you can just, as if you're passing, so you just strengthen your muscles.
So it's a stop and go.
Yes. And you can actually feel it. And at times, during sex, you can actually
use
feel it.
Yes, you can do it.
Yes.
You can do
Yep.
it. And it adds to the pleasure.
Pleasure, yes.
And it gives you a little bit of feeling of power and control within that situation as well, because you feel like you can grab and release.
Yes. And as soon as that manhood reaches there, it is like a welcome when your vagina can, as it were, shake his penis hand. Welcome.
Okay, well, on to you now, Lucine. When it comes to orgasms, there are some women who will tell you they don't even know if they've ever experienced one. What do you have to say to those women? Can everyone have an orgasm? There are different types of orgasms as well. Some women squirt as their orgasm. Some women don't. Can all women do it? What is it?
Cream.
What is it?
This elusive orgasm.
When you come.
When you come.
It is after that heightened state of excitement. It is like a release. And sometimes it comes with convulsions. And sometimes it's like an 8 on a Richter scale. Sometimes it could be real powerful and massive. And sometimes it's just a 3. But you will know when you would have had one. If you have to wonder if you had one, chances are you
did not
have it. Do you always have to have one? I think that men feel powerful when they assist their women to have an orgasm. For a man, he has to during that sexual experience. But sometimes we as women, we can enjoy sex just as much without
having an orgasm, yeah.
But if you
We can?
We can.
Because there are times when you just want to feel him inside you. It was a good session. I feel good.
It's more about the intimacy at that point than the actual.
Yes.
You remember
It's the
beginning you said about pleasuring him.
It's the higher level of
Yeah,
connection.
it can't be every time.
Yeah.
But sometimes the focus is not on you.
You.
Like sometimes you're not in the mood, but
he is.
So you do that for him.
Right.
And-
It takes energy.
But in the orgasm part of it, right? During the pleasuring time, when you orgasm, it helps to heighten his orgasm.
Yes, I know, but what she's saying is that it's not every time.
You have to have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I find,
Especially as women.
But what
And
about the
what I
squirting
find-
aspect of this?
And what I find is the more foreplay you have, the greater and the longer the foreplay is the chances are. So that is very important that you know that it is there for you. To say that this is the female condom, you insert it, you take your long finger and you put it right back, and this ring puts on the clitoris during the act.
Stimulation.
So this actually helps.
Stimulate.
Yes, and many women have said that they were able to achieve an orgasm with the
it.
help of the female
I
condom.
love
Protection.
that. I love that.
And assistance.
I love that.
Functional.
Some women, when they reach an orgasm, it it gushes out. And some of us just get wet. There isn't anything that you have over me. It is just how
Your body,
Yes.
your body, your body
It's
responds.
because it's a chemical reaction.
Yes.
And there are a lot of myths and misconceptions around that as well, because a lot of people are surprised when you tell them, did you know that that is made up in large part of urine, that it has urine within it? And there are some people who will completely refute that, but it's been medically proven that it does have traces of urine in it. So don't feel that as a woman if you climax, but you're not squirting in the process.
Because some of us, the clitoris actually swells up and elongates like a penis. You know, so maybe yours is a little longer, and so it comes out that way. But
Exactly.
it's all about pleasure. Once you
Once you've enjoyed yourself, that's all that matters.
sex must be tailored to you.
I'm throwing positions at you.
The best positions.
What are some of these assisted positions
Okay.
to help reach that point of climax?
Okay, so what we were saying earlier is that every one of us, we're shaped differently. Some people, your pelvis tilts forward, some tilt backward. So that dictates the shape.
That dictates.
Yes, it dictates it. It dictates the shape, and it also dictates how your partner would have to work, how much he would have to work to get to the sweet spot, right? You know, we have some positions that are more common than others, and I don't know the names of all of them. Sometimes you just end up in them because you're in bed and you're rolling around and you end up doing that. But some are very intentional. Like for people who like missionary position, which is basic, right? Somebody might need to put a pillow under their butt so that it raises their pelvis forward so that he could get deeper and then gets more pleasure. Some people, like I said earlier, the doggy style or back shot, you better have good knees to do that. But it is a position that stimulates a man really well.
But it also leaves a woman open to assisting stimulating herself.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't think any woman should be ashamed or feel away if she has to help herself, right? The whole point is for both of you to enjoy yourself. And sometimes you need both things going at the same time. And
because it's a partnership.
Yes. And if he can't reach both things at the same time, well, your hands are free.
Exactly.
Your hands are free.
And if he is at the back, his hands can also
come around. He can come around
or under.
And your hands can go under
and touch the balls.
However, sometimes, because, you know, a pastor friend of mine said to me that, you know, women need to cut men some slack because, you know, from the time they get to that place, his mind just gone. Like he's not thinking anymore. And it's not that he doesn't want to. It's not that he doesn't want to like be present with you. He's present. No, he's present, but it's the pleasure like overwhelms him.
Keep him focused.
So much.
Keep him focused.
The pleasure overwhelms him so much, right? But he's not thinking, you know, I need to do more. I need to do something extra because his mind is full. All the blood is gone. It is gone from his head.
So
it's gone.
What we've established here in all of this is that as men and women, we need to start having healthier conversations and communications and stop shying away from the conversation of sex amongst ourselves and with our partners as well, because sex can be a beautiful thing when it's done in a healthy and responsible way. So it's a trial and error process. It's a trial and error process. And some of that comes from porn as well, and what a lot of men and women see, and they think that is how reality should be. So
tonight, I just want to thank God for sex.
I think we can all collectively thank God for that. And thank God for all of you for being here. Thank you so much for being such incredible guests. I've had so much fun sitting with you ladies this evening.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much. Sex is a beautiful part of the human experience, one that is fundamental to who we are. Tonight, we've merely skimmed the surface of all the possibilities, and we want to know your thoughts. So hit us up right here, and let's talk about sex. Keep it real, but respectful, okay? When you know better, you do better. Catch you later.
Got to be